my trailer in the mirror. I'm just about to leave TA Travel Center in Wapakoneta, Ohio. All the systems of the truck are nominal, well, almost all of them. I'm gonna take care of that when I get back to Canada. Just warming up the truck. Time now is 11:23 Eastern Standard Time. Howdy. So yesterday I uploaded that big video. It was quite a few gigabytes, you know, the driving video through heavy rain. And then I lie down to watch a couple of videos, and my Verizon phone, today's 2nd of January, right? Like, when was the last time I used my Verizon as a hotspot in the States? But anyway, sends me a text message. You used up your 20 gigabyte high-speed internet. You have 10% remaining. So how I used up 18 gigabytes and it's January 2nd, and so the stupid thing resets. I get back this 20 gigabytes on 23rd of January, 3 more weeks. So now I have to use my Canadian phone. So this is my Samsung, right? I love this very nice case. And my Canadian phone, of course, is iPhone. And I have this in my car. So in my car I can, this magnetic thing. So anyway, I got a list of things to do on my computer, right? And the major thing to do was to do my books for December. I showed you the envelope before, right? So, but it's so cold in the truck, you can hardly see anything. So in the morning, I went to the restaurant, and just like somebody said, they were right. In Ohio, restaurants are open. So when you walk in, you have to wear a mask. Some people don't, and they have the smaller portion of the restaurant open, but it's every table. But now they have plexiglass partitions between tables. Well, I think I saw people coming out of the bigger section, but there's a sign that says this section is closed. So anyway, I asked them for some fruit salad. They said no. That's a negative on the fruit salad. We don't have any. Okay. So I said, can I just have coffee, because I need to do some paperwork? And they said, okay. And so I'm just doing my e-log here, getting ready to leave. And then we'll switch to your favorite head cam. So sick people beware. My head is gonna be on a swivel. All right, inspection. Truck 305. Sign. Done. Save. Sign the log. Save. Done. Anyway, so I did my envelope. And I didn't want to do the because I have to go to all my cards, all my credit cards, and go through transactions. Like after I do the envelope, after I do all the receipts, I go online and I check all my credit cards, because I usually use like one for permits, but when that one is maxed out, I use another one. So I had to go through and see how much I paid for permits. And then my phones, the bills for my 2 phones and 1 internet modem are taken from my I think from my Amex. So anyway, so I had to do that, and then I went to my bank and I wrote down my total revenue, my trucking revenue, my YouTube revenue for December, and then I totaled my sales tax paid, and I totaled my revenue, sales tax filing. Went online, did my sales tax filing, so I'll have 1100 Canadian coming back to me in a week or so. And now this was December, right? So now my spreadsheet automatically totaled all my revenue for 2020. And I know some people were saying they lost money. Like I know a broker who says this past year 2020, he did like 30% less revenue than last year. But I look at my numbers and I did like 5K more, just slightly more than last year, which, you know, honestly I don't want to do too much, because then my tax bill gets pretty big, you know. So right now I'm paying probably around 5%, because I have so many expenses. My tax bill is roughly 5% of my revenue, because again, I'm self-employed, right? I'm the boss, I'm independent. So yeah, it's not too bad, but it's just that I have so many expenses. It's just ridiculous when you can compare revenue to the expenses, to all these payments, especially permits, licensing, truck payment, trailer payment, Jeep payment, parking payment. Like, you hardly have any money left, you know. Honestly, if you compare if you look at the revenue and expenses, the ratio, like, I make more money on YouTube, you know. If you look at the expenses, it's ridiculous. Like, you spend your life basically trucking around, and the people that really make money are not the freight brokers, forget that. It's all these financial companies where you send payments, and the government, mostly because of the permits. Once you get into this 9-10 axle territory, right? I'm gonna do 10 axle stuff soon, because right now, you know, I do have 10 axles, but this 4th axle on the truck is it's a waste of time, right? You cannot put it down. Like I always say, if I have my Jeep and I have my 2+2 booster in the back, that's 9 axle setup. That's not a 10 axle setup, because like in Michigan, I have to put down the lift axle. Of course, all axles must be down, but it's useless. All it does is, because of my 254 wheelbase, all that lift axle does is make my steer axle too light, you know, and it's actually makes it dangerous. So whenever I have a tandem Jeep, I just keep that lift axle up, you know. What I need is, I need one more axle in the back, and of course that's what the whole story about that extra lift axle is about. And somebody said, why don't I make it permanent? Well, first of all, that's a lot of money to make it permanent, and also this tandem 60-ton is actually costs more than a regular tri-dam trail, believe it or not. Like, if you talk to a Fontaine dealer and ask him, okay, I want to buy a tandem 60-ton and one flip axle, that's tri-dam, right? Or I want to buy a tri-dam 60-ton, the same modular, you know, but you will see that tandem is more money. It's like 15-20 grand, you know, because it's much more flexible, and I don't want to change it to a permanent. I know, yeah, it's possible. There's shops that can do that. There's shops that can turn your flip axle into a permanent mount axle, and vice versa. You know, if you need like a flip axle, they can cut your trailer and give you a flip axle. But it is gonna make the trailer less flexible. It can lower the resale value when it's time to sell it and retire to Bahamas with a beautiful 21-year-old hottie from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm just kidding about Cleveland. And also, what was I thinking that? So yeah, the resale value will go down, flexibility will go down, And oh yeah, and not always will I need 3+2, right? Or most often, because this trailer is so heavy, I need 4 axles in the back. Just for like 85-90,000 pounds, I need 4 axles. Whereas if this was a 55-ton Fontaine, I can get away with the 3 axles. But this one is 7,000 pounds heavier, so I need 4 axles. So basically, most common is quad for me, because I'm in Ontario. Whereas Ontario, New York, PA, they give me 80,000 pounds easy on the quad. I don't need the booster, right? But I keep it because it's too much headache to separate it, and then half of the time I'm doing 9-axle loads now, right, with the Jeep, where I need the booster. And so yeah, so quad is the most popular, but then sometimes I will need 2+2, because you do need, for example, Ohio. I was just checking because I'm loading in Ohio, right? Ohio gives you up to 50,000 pounds per tandem. So 2+2, if you have 25,000 pound axles, you can get up to 100,000 pounds. Whereas quad, you can still get a lot. But on a Tridem, like Tridem truck, they only give you 60, right? So 60 is much less than 25 per axle, right? And so tandem is better, you know. So let's say if I had a 50,000 pound suspension on my truck, you know, like some guys in Western Canada, they have this. So I can get 20 on the steer axle, and then let's say my lift axle is up, I can get 50 on the drives, and then I can get 50 on the Jeep. And actually on the Jeep my axle are 25, so I can get 50 on the Jeep, and then in the back I can get 50 and 50, you know. So 2+2 is great. 2+2 is great when it works. Your length is shorter, because 3+2, you know, that axle is about what is it, like 6 feet at least, right? So now I'm 107 with the Jeep, so once I add that axle I'll be 112. And the longer you are, the more you pay for permits and escorts and stuff like that. So no, yeah, I want to keep this trailer a tandem the way it was. I'm just gonna add one more axle. By the way, about annual inspections. Annual inspection in the States, I was just doing my books, right? So I know it's $53 US, $53. So it's nothing. To change that axle to a permanent axle is probably cost like, I don't know, 5 grand at least. So it's not worth it. It's just too much BS, and you lose the flexibility. Anyway, so I filed my tax return. I created my bill of lading. I printed out the paperwork that the broker sent me. And I printed out customs paperwork for US side, because this is a 72-hour thing, 72-hour rule, so I have to stop on the US side again. So I printed the paperwork for the US side. I printed the bills of lading. Like, you know, I always make my own, even when the broker gives me their bill of lading, I always make sure I have my own, because mine has my full carrier info in there, my MC, my, you know, CVR is like proof of that I did this load. And so when I deliver, I always ask the customer to sign both bills of lading, one from the broker and one from me, and then I scan that and I send it to the broker, so this way they cannot say that I didn't do the load, right? Because quite often the bill of lading from the broker will not say the name of the carrier, it just says driver, and I sign it, but it's not clear who the carrier is. And so basically all I gotta do now, what I gotta do? Today is Saturday, I have plenty of time till Monday when I'm picking up. I'm gonna create my invoice for the broker, so I can promptly send it to the broker when I deliver, probably Wednesday, I'm thinking. And I gotta prepare my permit applications for Ohio, Michigan, and Ontario. I still need a single trip permit in Ontario, because this is way heavier. I'm on 8 axles. This is way Jeep, even then I'm heavier. Like with the Jeep, they allow me 78,000 kgs, but it's just not worth it. Like my delivery is 1 hour east of Cambridge, where my Jeep is. So picking up the Jeep, drop, like, you know, I could have ordered the cheaper permit from the border to Cambridge to my yard, and then just hook up my Jeep and drive to the customer. But still, I'm going to be like a couple of £1,000 over what my annual permit allows me with the Jeep. So I'm just going to get the single trip permit. You know, I have a form. I got a form on my computer. I just fill it out and email it to them, and I say, call me for the credit card info. Because for the credit card, you need to fax it. They don't recognize emails, you know, because of security protection, right? So you have to fax them a special form with your credit card info. So the easier way is I just, in comments on the application, I say, please call me for the credit card info. And then they send me an email. Okay, application received, it's in the queue. And then when they're done, they say, we're gonna call you in 5 minutes, basically, get ready. And then my phone rings, I'm ready with the credit card, give them my credit card, boom, 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 done, and then they email me the permit. So, you know, a long time ago, I used to be scared of Ontario because I never did it myself. So now I pretty much do all Canada, except the East, where you need to know French. I do all Canada myself. Either online or just I send them the permit. But you know, US, it's a different animal. There's so many states, so it's just not worth my time to, you know, sometimes I can cross like 10 states, you know, it's like 10 applications. I don't have time for that. I need to be doing YouTube videos, right? This is much more productive because less expenses, higher revenue. All right, so the truck is warmed up. Laptop is charging, so let me change the camera to my, this was session 5, so now we're switching to Hero 8. Alright, I think I want to go, I don't want to go all the way to over there, but I remember on 75, this one. Yeah, Vandalia, Flying J. So we're gonna just do a very short drive, so I'm gonna show you the entire thing because it's only 77 kilometers.
Head east toward Cemetery Road.
All right. So nobody bothered me over here. I wanted to go to the hotel, but decided against it. I need to save money for permits and fuel. And this plant was closed, but there was some constant noise over there. Some machinery was working, and but I kept the window closed. I opened it on this side. All right, so we're charging. Everything is good. Let me just gulp some water. So 77 kilometers, and I checked the satellite image of the truck stop on Google Maps, and it looks like they do have dual spots, you know, like my favorite spot where I can just pull through and park my lawn rig so that I don't have to back like this.
In 100 meters, turn right onto Wapakoneta Fisher Road.
Yeah, because you see, if I park like this, my truck will be sticking out way too much forward, and also I would have to go through that rigmarole of blocking the rear axles on the booster. So I just want to go straight forward and park. So this was an okay place. It's pretty much deserted because of the weekend and the holiday. But at least the restaurants are open. And here on the other side they have a Western Star Freightliner.
150 meters, turn right onto Cemetery Road.
Dealer. It's called Stoops. Stoops Western Star of Ohio. I cannot believe it. This thing wanted me to go back to the cemetery and do that crazy circle again, whereas there's a 75 right here. You see, I should have taken this exit, of course, which I think is exit 109 coming from the north. This is the proper, there's a ramp right there. I don't know. Yeah, that's the ramp right next to Holiday Inn. But for some reason it's not, the Google Maps was not aware of this. Like, it's actually, this side is much better. There's a Waffle House, there's McDonald's, there's Wendy's, Subway, but there's no truck stops in here. And I was checking the pricing on for these guys. Holiday Inn, but they're all too expensive. Now this is quite a turn over here. Check this out. Almost 180.
I-75 south for 76 kilometers.
Almost 180 degrees. I'm just watching my rear wheels. Like, if I had a 4-axle trailer right now, it would not be easy. Because the axles don't steer, right? Oh, there's another one. Yeah, that's Best Western, and there's Super 8. You see, for some reason everything is on this side, like nicer hotels. Over there you have the big factory, noisy factory, and you have the Western Star dealer, and you have TA, and then the hotel is some 1.5 stars, red roof in. It is a red roof, which is normally is a pretty good hotel, but actually I was there for a night in winter. It was very cold, and I decided to go to the hotel instead of freezing my ass off in the truck. You see, that's how it wanted me to go, like this, under the bridge, and then take this ramp. Like, how is this better? Wow, lots of traffic. People are either leaving the house to go visit friends, or they're coming back to the house. Now check this out. The guy has a pickup truck, right, hooked up to the RV, and that's not enough. On top of the pickup truck they have a golf cart. Wow. So I know what it is. So basically when they unhook the pickup truck from the RV, let's say they go to a hotel, right? So then they use the golf cart to go from the hotel room entrance to the pickup truck. Yeah, everything is, you know, taken into consideration. So zero walking, as little walking as possible. That's very smart. Anyway, we have a drizzle again. I'm getting sick of this weather. So we still have gray skies, right? But no snow, right? You see green grass. Lots of trucks compared to yesterday. Truckers are back at work. And I was thinking about my annual inspections. I know my truck is good, right? Because I did that inspection. I had to do this inspection in Alberta. When? Like September, October? So I'm good till next year. And all my trailer, the trailer, flip axle 1, flip axle 2, I just did them in December. But then I started thinking, wait a second, my Jeep, my tandem Jeep has been sitting there probably for a month, and I purchased that one in January 2020. So the plant JC trailer, they did of course the inspection, but I think that's the last inspection I have there. So which means that before I use that Jeep again, I'll probably have to go and do inspection somewhere. And in Canada, it's super expensive. In Canada, that would be like 450 bucks. So I hope that my next load is not from Canada, but from US, you know, and then I can just, I can pay somebody to load the Jeep on the deck, right, and go into US. And in US, trailer inspection is $53 US. A huge difference. Why, by the way, in case somebody's wondering why, it's because the rules in Ontario and in Canada in general are that they have to take the wheels off to inspect the brakes, whereas that's not required in the States. And of course, when you take the wheels off, it's much more labor, right? So at least 2 hours labor, 3 hours. And that's why inspections in Canada are so expensive. So I don't know. Like for me, it makes no sense, because Ontario and US, or any Canadian province, basically Canada and US, they have an agreement. So they recognize each other annual inspection. So if you're an American and you did an inspection, let's say in Illinois, and then you go to Ontario, they cannot give you a ticket if all you have is a valid American DOT inspection. I remember once a female officer in Canada tried to argue with me, because when I worked for Landstar, right? Landstar required that we do annual inspections every quarter, every 3 months, even though by law it's only required once a year. And they paid for it. So they paid for inspections, but if any repairs were needed, it was my responsibility. And so I remember I always had American inspections on my truck, right? And this lady stops me in Putnam, Ontario on 401 there, and tries to argue with me that I must have an Ontario inspection because I'm from Ontario. And I'm being polite. I know that I'm right, because at that point I was with Landstar for what, like 3 years. And I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, but I'm pretty sure you're mistaken. There's an equivalency agreement between US and Canada. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna check on that. If it's not, I'm gonna give you a ticket. I said, yes, ma'am, I'll be right here. And so she goes inside, checks her big binder, comes back and says, you were right. I'm not gonna give you a ticket. And I said, thank you, I really appreciate that. So basically half of the time, that's what I discovered, half of the time DOT, MTO, all these law enforcement officers, they don't know the actual rules, and that's why they just specialize in one thing. One guy will check your dash lights when you turn the key. That's all he knows. He knows what lights must go on and off, you know. I got a ticket like that once for my ABS, and of course I have to check this. I have to get this fixed. But what's funny that I get this ABS light only when I go through wet, rain or snow weather. Like on a dry road, it goes out, and then in 2 minutes it'll come back on. So it's one of those intermittent problems, you know. But I gotta fix it, of course. It's I can get a ticket. See, now it's back on. And it's not the trailer. I thought it was the trailer. No, I saw these lights when I was driving bobtail without the trailer, so that's the truck. So probably something is some wire somewhere is exposed to moisture. That's what it is. It's all these sensors, you know, it's all electric, right? And it's not easy to find, you know, because it's not a leak. There's nothing audible, right? You just have to go down the chain, you know, follow the electric current. But yeah, I'll have it fixed once I'm back in Canada. And yeah, so some DOT guys specialize on your dash, others specialize on mud flaps, right? Once a guy was chasing me in Michigan. You know, he was sitting in the middle, like this. He was sitting in the middle. I'm passing. He starts chasing me, flips his lights on, and his beautiful female colleague comes out, and they stop me on the side of the road, on the side of the 69. And the female officer comes out, and I could see that she's a rookie because her uniform is like brand new, not a single, you know, not a single stain. And she stands in front of my truck with her hand on her holster. She's ready to shoot. And the guy gives me a ticket. Back then I was still driving my International. He says, you don't have a reflective tape on your mud flaps on the truck. I thought he was joking. No, the guy was not joking, and the girl with her hand on the holster was not joking. They were very serious about the mud flaps. You know, it was a kind of like a live or die situation. So I said, thank you, sir, for catching this dangerous fault, you know, because people can get killed when you don't have reflective tape. That's, you know, I really understand why you're so serious about this, you know, with your hand on your gun. But of course, I didn't say nothing like that. I only thought to myself that, you know, it's just ridiculous. But it's all basically money grabber. That's all it is. So they don't get, you know, especially in the States, right? Taxes are very low. Sales tax is low. Income tax is low. So where do you think they get the money? right? They have to, that's why they have to write all these tickets, they have to do all these inspections. That's why scale houses are open 24/7 in some places. You know, it's like a department store that issues tickets. All they need is just one excuse, you know. So don't get me started on DOT and MTO. Which reminds me, I have to check on that ticket I got in Alberta, because I was checking 1 month after, nothing. You know, the guy gave me the website where you can go to pay for the ticket. 1 month after the ticket, it says your ticket number cannot be found. 3 months after the ticket was issued, I punched the number in on the website, your ticket cannot be found. So I said, screw this. You know, this was like the last time I tried, I think it was November. So, but now I gotta do it, because I hope that in 6 months they finally found time in their busy schedule and put that ticket online, because otherwise I cannot pay it, right? It's just ridiculous. Sometimes, you know, they give you a ticket and you want to pay it, but you can't because they don't bother putting the info on the website. So, not my fault. Alright, so there's Loves, 7 miles, but I'll keep going to exit 64 because that's a bigger... Actually, I think it's the same. It's like 130 spots. 130 spots for trucks. But today's Saturday, and I'm gonna be there at 12:30 p.m. So I hope that I can find a spot where I can just pull in a straight line. And then I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna stay there till Monday early morning, because my shipper opens at either 8 or 8:30. So I got plenty of time. I'll be like half an hour away from the shipper. So I'm gonna get up at 6. No, maybe 6:15, and start rolling at 7. So that I'm at the shipper 30 minutes before, you know, just in case. And I'll be loading myself because it's basically it's an auction. So I'll make sure all my cameras are charged. I just hope it's not gonna rain or snow. You guys check the weather for South Vienna, Ohio, and then post it under the video. No, wait, there's no comments. I'm sorry. Speed trap. I can see. Yeah, still there. Yes. Yeah, sometimes Google Maps will pull up this message and it says speed trap ahead. Still there? Yes, no. And I can see a silver car. Remember I told you that Ohio State Police, they drive silver colored vehicles. Now this guy is gonna get a ticket. No, I don't think so. I think the speed limit here is 65 for trucks. Alright, what kind of car is this guy driving? Last one was Challenger. Guess what? I mean Charger. Dodge Charger. He's probably just You know, sometimes what they do, they just park the car and then they go home. And so that car, you know, in the middle, like, there's nobody inside, and the car just serves as deterrent, sorry, deterrent for speeders. So I've been thinking of getting a radar detector for my Challenger, but you're not supposed to have one. It's illegal in many states in the US, and it's definitely illegal in Ontario. Like right after you enter Canada, there's a big sign that says speed detection devices prohibited. Speed detection devices prohibited. So which basically, that's funny because that's exactly what police uses, right? Police use illegal gadgets to check your speed because it says prohibited, right? It doesn't say except police. It says speed measuring devices prohibited. So why are you allowing this for cops, but you don't allow it for private citizens, right? So that's debatable, but I don't want to get in trouble. I know that, you know, if you buy one, of course it's a purchase in US, you have to declare it at the border. And as soon as you declare it, because that thing is pretty expensive, it's like $400, you know, like a good one, $400, $500, $600 US. As soon as you declare it, they'll just take it, you know? They'll just take it and they'll use it in their personal vehicle because cops can do whatever they want, but it's illegal in Ontario, so they'll just confiscate it. So it's money down the drain. And so instead of that, I found a video where people were talking about this speedway in Nevada. You know that lake, that Salt Lake, what is it called? Where you can go as far as you want, because it's all like a desert with salt on the ground, right? It used to be a lake, and that's where people go if they just want to experience maximum speed with no risk, you know, no cops, nothing, right? You pay the fee and you go. And I know my car is supposed to be able to reach 176 miles per hour. You know, that's pretty fast. But I did some mods, right? I upgraded the exhaust. I put in the performance, you know, air intake. Now, I put in the tune from Diablo Sport. The car feels quicker, but I'm not sure if I added any horsepower at the top end, because that's what you need for maximum speed, right? You need horsepower, not torque, which I like, but not torque this time. You need horsepower at the top end, so the car has to go like, I don't know, 6,000-7,000 RPM, you know, to reach that 176 miles per hour. And then now I'm gonna be installing the 85 millimeter throttle body, so that should give me a couple of horsepower extra, you know. So if I could reach, I don't know, maybe 185 miles per hour, somewhere around 250 k an hour, so that would be cool. But that's pretty far. That's from Ontario, that's 2,000 kilometers. I mean 2,000 miles. No, maybe even a little more. But that would be something, you know, I would really want to do. Just go there and drive with no restrictions, you know. So that's my dream. That's my dream, to get to that speedway racetrack and see what my car can really do. Buy this property, 31 acres, commercial industrial. All right. I was reading the sign. It's probably this guy, probably the farmer. The farmer decided he's tired of eating corn for breakfast. Grits. Have you seen that movie, My Cousin Vinny? When they go for breakfast and his girlfriend says, so no Chinese here? And she was like obsessed with Chinese food. And they go to this breakfast, the guy gives them a menu, and the camera does not show what's written on the menu, and Pesci and his girlfriend, they both look at it for like, I don't know, 5 minutes. They look at it. Yeah, that guy, you know, he let me go in that lane because, of course, people here are nuts. But you know, you don't want to drive next to a broken down truck, especially when it's a brother heavy hauler. And I saw the hood was open and the guy was standing right in the engine bay, which is basically like 3 feet away. You know, if I go like this, there's so much wind, so much air that the truck pushes. It's really dangerous and it's very scary. How do I know? I used to be a tow truck driver, right? And I'm telling you, when people don't change lanes and you're working on the shoulder, it can scare the heck out of you. And many people were killed. Even police officers, tow truck drivers were killed like that when people don't change lanes, they don't slow down, you know. Yeah, because somebody's talking or texting on their cell phone and then their vehicle start drifting on the shoulder, you know. And there's a guy there, works on there was one case in Ontario. A guy was hooking up a car to his tow truck and they were on the shoulder. And of course, you have to hook up like a safety chain from your pickup truck to the car. And so he went between the truck and the car, and guess what? Somebody went like this, you know, and hit him, and the cop, you know, pinned him to the truck. The guy died, and he was like a, I don't know, 20-year-old veteran of the towing business. I remember this happened maybe 7 years ago, somewhere in Toronto. I just read about it. So yeah, so that's why you want to change lanes, right? But of course, all these car guys, four-wheelers, they don't understand. Okay, what is this? This is Speedway, 12 miles. No, I don't want to go to that one. I'll go to the Flying J because I think that one is much bigger. And now, of course, I forgot what I was talking about before I saw that truck. But it's all good. I know you guys enjoy me rambling and going on and off about stuff. So yeah, I have a feeling that this is gonna be a good year. Now that the Trump is out, I think it's gonna be a good year both for US and Canada. So last year, no, actually the spring, right? The spring was pretty bad when the virus got out of control, but then, you know, summer was okay. I made good money. The spring was okay. See, now it's January. It's January 2nd. I'm working. I have a load, and I have a couple of leads that I hope will materialize or turn themselves into loads once I get back. So I don't know. I think now people, you know, people got like shippers and brokers got really afraid in the spring, right? But now I think people are tired of being scared. And so trucking should be back to normal or even better. I don't know. Biden was talking about some big infrastructure plans, you know, building bridges, building roads. So for me, that's what I need. I need construction. Because construction requires construction machines, right? And that's what I do for a living. I move construction machines. And speaking about the leads, so what I can do is, yeah, there's this power only load from Eastern Canada to US. Then there's 110,000 pounds, I think, like a heavy load from my town, Cambridge. To Western Canada. Then the guy that I moved that excavator to Quebec, he says he wants to buy a similar excavator in Ohio again. So he might hire me to go back here and bring it back to Ontario. And then what else? Yeah, and then there was a load from southern US to Western Canada, but the rate is way too low. I gave them my rate, so they were no response. So maybe that will change after the year, because, you know, they want to save money, I understand, but if nobody wants to do it for that rate, you know, sooner or later you gotta start increasing the rate, because that just, you know, what they're offering is way too low, because there's a lot of permits, a lot of escorts, just a lot of expenses. And by the way, I just did my books, right? And so this was last month of 2020, so I had the last puzzle for the total of permits and escorts I paid in 2020. And guess what? It's back to the same number I had in 2019, which is $40,000 Canadian. $40,000 I paid towards permits and escorts. That's just crazy, you know? And so I noticed that this expense really grew once I started hauling, you know, heavy loads. Because the heavier you are, oh, check this out. Looks like the movie theater is open. I don't know. I don't know if I can. You know, last time I was in a movie theater was probably last January or last December. I don't want to go inside. I'm okay going to a restaurant because it's all plexiglass, you know, separation, the separation between tables and stuff like that. But in a movie theater, I don't want to do that. But anyway, yeah. So my permits became really expensive when I started hauling heavy loads, and that's the problem with heavy stuff. But I really enjoy it. I like it. So now we're gonna get even into more heavier stuff. So probably next year my permits will be 50,000 Canadian. But as long as the revenue goes up, that should be okay. I'm 2.7 clicks out. This is exit 64, just north of I-70 and Dayton in Ohio. And I'm entering Montgomery County. So just need my exit to get to the Flying J truck stop and shut down there till Monday. And the sign on the right says Flying J, Kroger Fuel, Cinnabon, Subway, and El Toro Mexican restaurant.
In 600 meters, take exit 64 for Northwoods Boulevard.
And this is it.
Take exit 64, then turn right onto Northwoods Boulevard. Turn right onto Northwoods Boulevard, then turn right.
Yeah, price of diesel $2.85 per gallon.
Take the next right, then you'll arrive at your destination.
I paid $2.39 in Michigan.
Take the next right, then turn right.
let's see. So where do we? Like I said, I need a spot where I can just pull in. I need a double spot. Well, worst case scenario, I can back. But check this out. Reserved. All reserved spots are, well, half of them, of course, next to the truck stop are all filled up. And these are way too short for me anyway. Oh, wow. This truck stop is ridiculous. Son of a gun. I might need to disconnect my trailer. Just park the truck separately. Because I could not see this on a satellite image. Because I could see something was behind the trucks, you know, of course the picture is from above, right? But I thought it was available, like this whole thing. Yeah, this is way too small for me. You see, it's Saturday and it's pretty much like, I would say, 70% full. Well, lots of spots actually, but yeah, that's what I'll have to do. I'll have to take 2 spots. Like if I want to go into this one, of course it's easier to do it like this. No, to back in this one I have to be facing that way, right? It's always easier to back from the driver's side, so I'll have to turn around. This guy is way too close to the tanker on his other side, because I can see there's so much space between his tires and the yellow line on this side, but he's pretty much on the yellow line on the other side. Like, why are you so close? There's 2 spots free on this end, right? Oh, maybe I'll do some cool pictures here, because there's looks like there's an airport somewhere here. All right, are you good? All right. All right, so we'll just go and I gotta block my put my jacket on, because it's what, +3, 276 Kelvin. I gotta be in a perfect straight line for me to be able to lock my axles. Otherwise those all right, I think now it's good. All right, let me just go and lock my axles, and then I'll just back and drop the trailer, because there's lots of spots. And that's it. See, I'm not sticking out. So I drop the trailer, So backed. I thought I would be backing in here, but this thing is so huge. So I ended up backing next to the Maverick flatbed guy. And there's a bunch of rocks in there. I hope there's no, but you know, see, like over there on the other side there's a bunch of those small rocks. I don't know how they get in. Probably people they back onto that gravel place, and then they drag them with mud flaps or something. But yeah, there's a bunch of these small rocks in that spot. I didn't want to back with the trailer, but you know, I don't have a choice, so I dropped it. Takes like 10 seconds, you know, like it's so much easier for me to drop the trailer without the neck and keep the neck, because I do it all the time. And I'm sitting next to a guy from Alabama. The only downside is that it's you can see it's a reefer, but it's not working right now. And this guy works for Lone Star group of companies. Under his handle there's a nice cool looking sticker with a star inside a circle, like a tire, and there's a star, Lone Star Truck Group. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed it. See, so yeah, I'm surprised, like they do it like this all the time. I don't like I said, I don't like truck stops like this where you have single spaces, you know. Now it's a good thing I'm empty, right? So now I know that I cannot come here once I load that huge John Deere 450, because you know, I don't want to back like this when fully loaded, because you know, in order to back, of course, I don't know if you realize this, but I have to disable the rear two axles, right? So I have to basically drain the air from the axles, and I have to disable those big airbags on the booster, and so all the weight sits on two axles. And by the way, that's another reason why I want to have a third axle on the trailer, like for heavy loads, because then yeah, I can disable the booster, but at least I have three axles, you know. Otherwise it's just way too much weight, you know. Let's say you have like 90,000 pounds in the back, or even 80,000 pounds, and just to put all that on two axles, it just, you know, I don't like it. And so yeah, that's your typical truck stop. Pretty much 90% of trucks are dry vans, 2-axle trailers, 3-axle trucks, and the most popular looks to be with dry vans, looks to be Freightliner. It's either Freightliner or Volvo, but over here on this side, oh yeah, Freightliner, Kenworth, International, Kenworth, Freightliner, Freightliner. Yeah, so this guy next to me is what is this? Cascadia. That's a Freightliner, and this one is Cascadia. So I'm surrounded by Freightliners. So I would say this is not a very good hood for a heavy hauler guy to be sitting in, but what do you do? Have a good weekend, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed this another blockbuster from Sergei DRATCHEV. Happy New Year, happy 2021. Let's do it.